Welcome back, and again, Merry Christmas to everybody. The number one team in boys AA basketball is Yankton. After all, the Bucks are defending state champions, and they return our athlete of the week yesterday, Matthew Moores, who's only a sophomore. He averaged 24 a game as a freshman and helped his team to its first title in 40 years last March. So what's it like to take the floor knowing that everybody else is gunning for you as returning champs?
We really try not to think of it as like a title defense, because no one can take away what we did last year, and we have to come out this year really strong because every team's gonna give us their best. So we just have to come out ready to play every single game.
That group last year had great chemistry together. They really cared about each other, and they're still friends today. I know we had to say goodbye to 4 seniors that moved on to college and continuing their lives. But like I said, I think that group will stay together for a long time.
And here's the scene, and this is why they will be best buddies forever. The Bucks, by the way, unbeaten so far this year. That last-second win over Brandon Valley at the Pentagon earlier this month. And with Morris leading the way, the Bucks are favorites to make it 2 straight titles. Well, Dolan, South Dakota native Tim Miles is having a great season so far with his Nebraska Cornhuskers. We saw how good this year's team was when they clobbered Oklahoma State at the Pentagon with a huge second half. It was a fun trip home for Miles, who got to spend time with friends and family while he was here, and it's an important season for him because he's on a 1-year contract at this point. But they've been playing the best basketball during his years in Lincoln and are ranked 23rd in this week's coaches poll. So, do they have a difficult schedule ahead? Yes, in the Big Ten, but with only 3 games in a 24-day period. The win at the Pentagon was huge.
So, as you look at what's going on, I think that one is we're trying to build a case for the NCAA tournament. Winning away from home was a big deal. That's why, hence, this game is so important to us. Second of all, as you work, you don't want to work from from anger or bitterness or all those things that go with losing, it seems like. You want to stay positive, keep working on those things, and then maybe, strategize ahead. Okay, what could teams do to us, or what are we going to see in the league? So some of this off time helps for that, too.
The Huskers have had a few days off for Christmas and face some very tough games on the road when they get back on the court. So they're 10-2 so far this year, and they finally get back to play when they host Tim's former team, SMSU, on December 29th. Well, as we continue to look back at 2018, our gift to you this Christmas is laughter. Zach Borg has a look back at the top local sports bloopers from 2018.
Wayne State can make the catch against Sioux Falls. Sticking the landing, on the other hand, the scoreboard always shows who wins and who loses. Unless, of course, you don't see it.
No, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. No, I think they've got it wrong. I believe that Rodert has the 1 second riding time. There we go.
There we go. It's not often that a kickoff by the Storm's Miles Bergner ends up back in Miles Bergner's hands.
I guess my question is, why would it be CRF's ball at their own 5-yard line? They did not recover the ball. They didn't catch it.
The position is called catcher.
Go!
Not thrower. Speaking of catches, the Coyotes got a good look at how not to catch a touchdown from Kansas State.
Yard. Play action fake. There's a man deep. Schoen bobbles it, and it is intercepted by the Coyotes.
Oh my goodness. That just seems the way the game has gone for Kansas State.
Well, we had a busy Christmas day in the NBA. One of the games featured the 76ers in Boston against the Celtics. Joel Embiid showed why he's one of the best in the NBA with 34 points, 16 rebounds, and how about that Ben Simmons monster jam? Philly led late in the game, but Kyrie tied it and then had 2 huge threes in overtime, scored 40 and had 10 rebounds. Celtics win 121-114. Now, the first game of the day had Milwaukee at New York to play the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, and we got to see why this guy, the Greek Freak, might be the MVP this year. 30 points, 14 rebounds. Giannis and his Bucks win big today, 109-95. And finally, the Rockets and Thunder then played in what figured to be a shootout with former teammates Russell Westbrook and James Harden facing each other. And it was the guy on his home floor who stood out today. Paul George had 28 and 14, but Harden was the guy. 41 points as he would pace the comeback. They had trailed by double digits. Go on to win 113-109 was your final. Houston over Oklahoma City. And that's sports. We'll all be right back.